in the care and protection case.
If he doesn't testify?
Right.
It can be.
It can be in the care and protection case. So the court could draw an inference of unfitness if your client does not testify in the care and protection case. And so just to summarize here, okay, it looks like the department's case would be introducing Jason's statements under 23383, and possibly they're going to come in. Alicia's statements are only going to come in for a state of mind or excited utterance, but they're not going to come in for the truth. Court, again, what I just said, can draw the inference of unfitness. The investigator is going to testify, and the investigator is going to submit his report. Of course, it is all hearsay, but it's allowable. So the court, again, can rely on what the investigator has come up with. Anything else? Care and protection case?
At the very least, he did not act appropriately as a parent to what he did admit, which was...
Okay, but I'm summarizing the evidence, not your position. And guess, I didn't, because Jonathan's attorney wasn't here, we haven't mentioned Jonathan at all. So supposing that Jonathan, not only being the youngest, but not part of the alleged abuse, it still could be Jonathan's attorney's, it could be Jonathan's attorney's position that, like the GAL, possibly, that were Jonathan, old enough and mature enough to make a decision, Jonathan might want to be free from the abuse of his dad. Or Jonathan's attorney might draw a different position, that being that there are no allegations regarding him at all, that the father was, again, that would mean that father's always been appropriate with Jonathan. So again, I'm not sure what her position is.
She mentioned something the other day about Jonathan being taken away for care and protection, and she stated a case that said something like the judge said to stop a disaster from happening. Where Jonathan would get older, it could potentially happen to him too.
Okay, so she would be using her judgment, her substitute judgment approach to want to be free from Lee's abuse. Okay, all right. So that would be the department's case. Commonwealth is and the department's case, obviously, there's a problem with all of that. Will it amount to clear and convincing evidence of unfitness? Commonwealth has an even more difficult time. The 23381 has, as you guys have discussed, more requirements than 83. So that could be an either or. And so, but even if Jason's statements come in, you have really very little else. You do. The court-appointed investigator has no role in the criminal case at all. And again, Alicia's statements may come in, but again, not for the truth, but for any of the hearsay exceptions. So, does anyone want to lay anything on the table of something that could be a resolution that would satisfy, I guess, everyone in the care and protection case and/or the criminal case? Obviously, he doesn't want to go to jail, so...
Is this still as the district attorney, or is this...
As the district attorney, yeah.
And I can't see my idea. No?
No. Laura?
I would say to follow the actual investigator's recommendations that the father go into therapy, the children go into therapy, but the overall goal is to reunify the family.
So what do you do? What do you do with the first of all? What do you do with the care and protection case?
So,
Procedurally, you know what?
Continued. So they would have continued temporary custody with a review in 6 months.
Jim?
Well, I think after speaking with the Central Trauma Unit, the family has a lot of rehabilitative potential.
Okay.
And every effort should be made towards an eventual reunification of the family. I think under the service plan that refer the father to the parent to the treatment sexual offender program, and refer all 3 children to the sexual abuse trauma unit for a complete evaluation and treatment before that unification ever transpires.
Amanda?
I do agree that the father needs therapy, but also it's kind of confusing me because Alicia's not Lee's daughter, and Lee never adopted Alicia. So the rights there, I mean, to go back to her father, it should be her adopted father. And I'm concerned as to whether or not if Jason and Alicia stay together in whatever place they're placed in, are they going to continue that sexual activity with each other? Because it's like a learned behavior they did together.
Okay, that wasn't your position, but
He hasn't adopted her, but he has legal custody, it said?
I think he's in process.
yeah.
I think it said waiting on the paperwork, but it said had legal custody.
Right. And obviously he did because his wife had died.
Right, and her father had nothing to do
Nothing to
with
do with
her.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
picture.
And that's Jason's father, too.
But I want to go back to, because we actually only have a few minutes to, Laura just said that she would agree to some kind of custodial situation, on stipulation. At that point, that Lee would then have to stipulate to the facts in the care protection matter. So if he's going to stipulate to the facts in the care protection matter, then he's also going to stipulate to the facts in the criminal case as well. And the district attorney would have to make some offer that's a little bit better than jail time.
Or perhaps it could be put on probation, or the case could be filed pending, a year of good behavior or 2 years or whatever that might be. It also doesn't talk in here either about if the goal is reunification, why not some sort of supervised visitation? So if the children are staying in the custody.
He is getting visitation, otherwise he would have been bringing an abuse of discretion motion. It's supervised visitation in DCF's offices.
Okay.
Yeah, he is getting visitation. So that's not an issue right now. Anybody have any final thoughts? Because what I'll do is because I want to discuss quickly what we're going to do on Thursday, but I'll take the first 15 minutes of Thursday to not only summarize this, but to tell you because something like this happened in the real case. And that's going to take more than 5 minutes for me to do. So I emailed you the what I call the IFA assignment, and we're going to use that as an exercise in class to kind of go through not only the medical neglect issues, but also it's funny because an MSL alum actually emailed me and called me the other day and said, somebody said I should call you because we don't know enough about administrative hearings, and he actually is in the process of appealing a fair hearing from the department to Superior Court, and he didn't know what to do because there's hardly anything out there. So I've given you the Cobble case. Read that really closely, because even though Cobble isn't medical neglect, is not a medical neglect case, It's the appeal of a parent who had been, whose 51A against him was substantiated by DCF. And so when we do this IFA case in class, we're doing the sort of the identical procedure, if you know what I mean. So that being said, you know, there are more of you than people for the roles, so
Maybe we can double up.
maybe you can double up, exactly. So what I have is somebody that's going to play the father, the mother, the school nurse, the DCF worker, the English teacher, and then I'm going to need, you know, somebody. I would be the hearing officer, but somebody can sort of help. I know what I'm going to do. Because we're probably also going to have time for some kind of legal argument as well. So let's do this. For probably half hour, we could do the agency hearing. And in the agency hearing, how about if, Jonathan, you play dad in the agency hearing? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But there's what, 9 roles and there's 12 of us?
Yeah, hold on, because I think I can figure this out. How about if, let's see, Jennifer, no, not Jennifer, Laura, your mom. Then the school nurse, Stephanie. Oh, you want to, okay, yeah, school nurse, Jen. Stephanie, the DCF worker. The English teacher, John. Now, we're going to, after this, we're going to take it to the next step, and that would have been when the Tumas actually appeal the agency decision. So that's when we're going to get into the Superior Court argument. So that's when we'll double up. So I'll have attorneys for the department, Amanda.
Department of Child and Family?
Yep, yeah. Amanda, Jim. Attorney for the parents, Nicole. Joe.
DCF attorneys.
Mike. Did I get everybody just now?
You forgot
The other Amanda. Okay, attorneys for the department, Amanda, and Jim. That work?
Yep.
And we keep our first rules, like I'm the mother in the first one, and then I'm the mother in the
Yeah,
appeal.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay?
I'll email Amanda today, and she'll
All right.
probably listen to the recording.
Attorney,
Attorney who?
are we not doing that part?
No.
The temporary custody?